Are you familiar with the concept of insurance? It's basically paying upfront and hoping never to collect the premium. But we do feel better if we have it. It's the same with negotiations. Your BATNA is your insurance policy. Welcome to Cobblestone Negotiations. Today we will talk about our first negotiation principle. Be sure to know your exact BATNA. And today in our real life example, you will see why we are insisting on the exact BATNA. The word BATNA itself stands for the best alternative for a negotiated agreement. And it was introduced for the first time by Rodger Fisher and William Ury in their classic Getting to Yes. And this should be the first book about negotiation that you should read, as this book will introduce you to many useful negotiation concepts. In our channel, we analyze real-life examples through the lenses of our negotiation principles. And today we will analyze Z4, which was a plan to peacefully end a Croatian war of independence. In the name itself, Z stands for Zagreb, which is Croatian capital, and 4 represents that 4 parties worked on the development of this plan, which were US, Russia, EU, and UN. The plan was developed by the end of 1994, and it was officially presented to interested parties in January of 1995. But firstly, let's give some context to it. Yugoslavia was comprised of 6 states, which coexisted as a federation until 1991, when firstly Slovenia and afterwards Croatia opted to leave it. In this video, we will not analyze who had the moral right to act as they acted at the time, and we will not take sides. We will just try to, as objective as we can, analyze the situation in terms of negotiation principles. Meaning, firstly, we will introduce you with the situation in the field. We will explain step by step what happened and how each of the parties acted on it. And now, with the benefit of this time distance, we will dissect good and bad negotiation moves and try to learn something from this. Back to our story. In 1990, when it was already evident that Croatia is headed to exit Yugoslavia, Serbian minority opposed to it. And in August of 1990, they organized the so-called Log Revolution, where they basically blocked the main road to Dalmatia, which is Croatian main touristic region. And subsequently, at the beginning of 1991, this led to a creation of an autonomous region with a Serbian majority around the city of Knin. And the name of this region within Croatia was the Republic of Serbian Krajina. Long story made short, Serbia wanted that Yugoslavia stays united, or at least that parts of Croatia with a dominantly Serbian population to unite with Serbia. And contrary to this, Croatia wanted to become independent. And they wanted to become independent as a whole. As you can imagine, tensions were very high with many incidents since summer of 1990 to the spring of 1991, when the war actually began. And Croatia declared independence on the 25th of June of 1991. Now we will fast forward 3 years of war, as the war itself is not the subject of our video, but the negotiation to end it is. When the plan was leaked to the interested parties, none of them was thrilled with it. The plan itself defined that the autonomous region, the Republic of Serbian Krajina, that Serbs created in 1991, to stay as an autonomous region within Croatia, but with a high level of autonomy. They would have their own president, legislation, court, police, flag, and currency. The borders of this region would be defined based on the municipalities in which Serbs were majority according to the 1991 census. In the same time, the parts of this region in which Serbs were not majority according to the same census would be returned to Croatia. And as you can imagine, Serbs were not satisfied with this plan because they didn't want to live within Croatia, and Croatia wasn't happy to allow creation of something that seemed to be a state within their own state. And now we come to the interesting part for us. Many perceived that the plan was generous to Serbs, as it would give them practically a state within a Croatian state. Therefore, the Croatian side didn't like it. But they played on the card that Serbia, due to some internal issues that they had at the moment, which was a very similar problem with Kosovo, that due to this issue, Serbia just wouldn't accept it. Basically, Croatia bluffed and they were right. Croatia accepted the plan as a basis for negotiation, hoping that Serbia will reject it. When in January of 1995 the plan was officially presented to both sides, Serbia even rejected to receive the plan before some other conditions were not fulfilled, which was before the mandate of UN Protection Force troop to be extended, which Croatia opposed. Later in May the same year, after some development of the field and after Croatia recaptured some of the lost territory, there was an attempt to revive the plan. But due to some unmet demands from both sides, this attempt didn't succeed. Later on in June was the second attempt to revive this plan, but it failed as well. The final attempt to negotiate a peaceful instead of a military solution to end the war was on the 2nd of August, when the authors of Z4 plan were in Belgrade to meet Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic. Unfortunately, these two sides didn't meet, and reasons for that are not very clear. According to some sources, Serbian president was on a vacation, although if this was true, the timing would be very strange. But it's still not clear why these two sides didn't contact each other, at least by a phone, or why they didn't leave messages to each other. It's just not clear. Anyway, this time Serbian side was more open to negotiation, and it was already 3rd of August. In the same time, Croatian side seemed not to be that motivated to proceed with negotiations, probably because the situation in the field and in the international community moved to their side. And moreover, they already had a military solution planned to the detail, as the next day, on the 4th of August, the Operation Storm started, which allowed Croatia to recapture all the lost territory and with this to practically end the war. We need to ask ourselves why the Serbian side even rejected to receive Z4 plan in January of 1995. Of course, they had their reasons that for sure at that moment seemed relevant, but with the benefit of this time distance, we need to ask ourselves, did they have an exact BATNA? Did they have it, or did they just hope for the best? Obviously, we do not want to oversimplify things, as we all know that this negotiation was performed in the wartime settings. And in these kind of situations, we all know that probably emotions are the most important ingredient in these negotiations, although it shouldn't be so. But we are here to learn from previous mistakes. And in this moment, Republic of Serbia and Krajina didn't just reject the plan itself, but they failed to develop closer ties with the plan authors, which were and still are the most powerful states in the world. Therefore, for all of these reasons, we believe this was an obvious example of how it looks like to enter negotiation without a clear vision of what your exact BATNA is. Moreover, as a bonus to this video, we must add that the Croatian part played their role very smart by respecting our another principle. Disagree with your counterparty without being disagreeable. They didn't like Z4 plan, but they didn't oppose to it openly. They just found a way to say no without actually saying it. Very smart. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see your reactions in the comments below.